From stars whose irresponsible drunk driving has killed, to celebrities that stab their lovers to death, today we will be counting down a list of celebrity killers. Number 6. In 1987, Matthew Broderick, the star of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, tragically ended the life of a mother and daughter. Matthew visited Ireland and planned on driving throughout the country. While driving, they met an officer who was off duty who criticized their route. He offered to show them a better way. However, Matthew decided he wanted to do his own thing. While he was driving to Maguire's Bridge, he collided with a car head-on, killing 28-year-old Anna Gallagher and her 63-year-old mother, Margaret Doherty. The road was straight and there were no curves. It's speculated that Matthew may have been driving on the right side as he would in America instead of the left. Number 5. In 1984, Vince Neil, lead singer of the Motley Crue, went out to celebrate Hanoi Rocks, a Finnish rock band's first tour in America that reached California. Vince and the drummer of Hanoi Rocks, Razzle, had been drinking heavily, but Vince still decided to drive. After driving around Hollywood, Vince crashed into an oncoming car, causing brain damage to the two occupants of the other car and killing Razzle, who was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. Out of his 30-day sentence, Vince only spent 10 days in jail and was ordered to pay $2.6 million in restitution. According to Vince, he found the entire ordeal fucked up and lamented the power of money. Number 4. Phil Spector is no stranger to guns. The producer of the legendary Beatles and Ramones was known within the music industry for his unhinged personality. When Dee Dee, the Ramones bassist, wanted to leave the studio and go home, Phil Spector pulled a gun on him. In another instance of Phil's craziness, he fired a shot in the studio's control room near John Lennon's ear, and on yet again another occasion, chased him with his gun through the halls. Unfortunately, in 2003, actress Lana Clark would not survive her encounter with him. Phil had encouraged Lana to spend the night at his mansion in Los Angeles. Moments later, Phil was calling the police, saying that he thought he had killed someone. Lana was found shot through the mouth, dead. Phil had tried to say she kissed the gun, and his defense was that she was suicidal. However, her autopsy found that there were bruises on her tongue, meaning that Phil likely forced the gun aggressively into Lana Clark's mouth before killing her instantly. He is currently serving 19 to life and will be 88 before he is eligible for parole. Number 3. Sid Vicious, a member of one of the most influential punk bands ever, the Sex Pistols, was a troubled person. He was a drug addict which wasn't helped by his mother, who supplied him with various drugs since he was young. His eventual victim, Nancy Spungen, was a troubled schizophrenic girl who left home and followed several famous bands, including Aerosmith and the Ramones. In 1976, she moved to England following Jerry Nolan, a drummer from an American punk band, in hopes of sparking a relationship. Instead, she found the Sex Pistols. When Johnny, the lead singer, wasn't interested in her, she pursued Sid. The relationship was rife with drug use and domestic abuse, which culminated in Sid stabbing her once in the stomach, which proved fatal. Her body was found on the floor of the bathroom under the sink. Sid said he stabbed her, but that he didn't mean to kill her. He was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, but was later released on bail. He had a party in order to celebrate his release. However, he later overdosed on heroin in his sleep that his mother had supplied him with. According to his mother, it was suicide, and she produced his suicide letter. Number 2. Before Don King became the prolific boxing promoter he is today, he was a very different man in the 50s and 60s. Don King ran an illegal gambling operation after dropping out of college and killed 2 men in connection to it. The first man he killed, Hillary Brown, was shot in the back as he tried to get away after he attempted to break into the store. It was found to be a just shooting, and Don King didn't spend any time in jail for it. In the second incident, Sam Garrett, Don King's former employee, owed him $600. Owing Don King any kind of money would prove to be a fatal mistake. King looked for Sam, and after finding him at the bar, dragged him outside and proceeded to fight. King beat Sam to death, punching and stomping him. According to Officer Bob, he saw a man's head bouncing off the pavement like a ball. King said years later, his head hit the ground. Those are things that happen, showing very little remorse for ending a life over $600. He was charged with second-degree murder. However, the charge was reduced to non-negligent manslaughter and he served less than 4 years in jail. King's vicious attitude over money is not news to some boxers who have worked with him. Mike Tyson once said, "He's just a bad man, a real bad man. He would kill his own mother for $1. He's ruthless, deplorable, greedy, and doesn't know how to love anybody." Number 1. Johnny Lewis was an actor who played Kip on Sons of Anarchy and at one time dated Katy Perry. He had a history of both mental and drug issues. In 2011, Johnny Lewis suffered a motorcycle accident. Lewis's father scheduled 2 MRIs for Lewis, however, he refused to go. From then on, his family says that he started acting bizarre and illogically, and that his violent outbursts may be because of an untreated brain injury. In 2012, Lewis hit 2 men on the head with bottles, and 6 weeks later, Lewis tried to break into a person's house. A probation officer said that Lewis was a threat to any community he would live in. However, on the 21st of September, he was released. 5 days later, he would break into Catherine Davis's villa, attacking 2 men, then proceed to beat her cat to death before tearing it apart with his bare hands. Catherine Davis was then attacked. She tried to fight. Scratch marks were found on Lewis's neck and he was partially strangled. However, she was hit from behind in the head and died. Catherine Davis was just starting her day. There was unfinished cereal and she had finished editing chapter 6 of her book and it was sprawled on her bed. Johnny Lewis was later found dead. He fell from the roof of the house. There were no drugs or alcohol in his system, and it is unknown whether he killed himself, lost his footing, or believed he could make the jump. If you liked the video and like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. Videos will be uploaded every Friday.